How's it going, everybody? CJ here, back with another video. We're doing a predictions slash leak coverage video here. So I'm going to be talking about this Commander Legends. I'm going to be talking about some predictions that I have for the set and go over some leaks. So we're going to hop into this. Starting off with predictions, but the first set of predictions has to do with a rumor that's going around. So there's 32 commanders that are being put into the collector booster packs that are not from the set, they're from previous sets. So, and they have like the gold etching and everything. So, and the rumor is that it's one card for each color or color pairing. So I'm going to go through each color and say what my guess is for each one. And so we're going to start this off. We're going to start off with the mono white card. Oops, sorry about that. The mono white commander. So after looking at the popular commanders that I think it could be, the most likely scenario appears to be SRAM in my opinion. It's the most popular by a significant margin, and it's not very new. A lot of the other very popular ones are much newer than SRAM. So I'm going with SRAM. Next, we're going with the mono blue commander. For this commander, I chose Baral as the most likely candidate because we got the most popular is Urza, which is very recent. I don't think it's going to be Urza. Next most popular is Talrand, which sucks, so I hope it's not Talrand. And then Emery, also a very new card. And then comes Baral, which is also the most expensive mono blue card out of a lot of the, other than obviously Urza. It's the most expensive out of the top 7 most popular, so it'd be a good reprint. And it's not a very new card. I don't think it has any reprints, so it seems like a good choice. Next up, we're gonna go with the mono black one. So for the mono black commander, a lot of the more popular commanders have been printed recently or reprinted recently. So I'm going to go on a whim here and guess that it is going to be Chainer, Dementia Master. So Chainer only has one printing, and it's back in Torment. Its foils are like $100. He is like the next most likely scenario is maybe Erebos, but Erebos was just reprinted inside of the Secret Lair. So the Chainer I think is the most likely one because Vilis is pretty new. Gonti doesn't seem like a good choice here. He's not worth much, and not many people play him as the commander. Ayara and Sir Conrad and Shiri and Maronar, Yawgmoth, and Crick were all made pretty recently. Like Crick may be the most likely. It's between Chainer, and it's between Liliana Heretical Healer. But Liliana's a flip card, and I don't think they're going to do any flip cards here. So it's I'm going to say either Crick or Chainer, and it's been a long time since Chainer. Crick was pretty recent, so my bet is Chainer. So next up, we're going with the mono red commander. This one I think is a pretty obvious, easy one. It's going to be Krenko Mob Boss. Krenko's significantly, like by a significant margin, the most popular mono red commander. Next up is Torbrand, which is brand new and has an extended art already, so it's not going to be that. Then there's like Dredd and Zada, and it's going to be Krenko. Krenko's a very, very popular commander. Goblins is a super popular tribe. Every Krenko player is going to want to have a pimped out Krenko. Green, the mono green commander. So this one, there's a good number of commanders that are more popular than the one I chose, except they were all printed recently or reprinted very recently, and some of them with pimp versions. I think the one that's been printed the furthest away from now is probably Azuri. I don't think it's gonna be Azuri, but Azuri is the other option. And the most popular right now is Gargos, but I think that it's going to end up being Yisan, because Yisan has been a long time since it's been printed. It only has one printing, and it's a CEDH All-Star. It is one of the best CEDH decks out there, so Or at least it used to be one of the best. It's still a very strong CDH deck, though. And CDH players like their pimped out cards, so I think that's a good fit here. Because I don't think a lot of people are going to care that much about an Azuri, but I think Yisan would be very, very popular. Next up, we're going to the 2 colors. We got Azorius. The first Azorius commander the one I think that's going to be the Azorius commander is Brago. It was between Brago and Grand Arbiter, and maybe Ishai? Maybe? I'm not sure. But I think it's going to end up being Brago, because Brago is just super, super popular. And the next best bet would probably be Ishai Grand Arbiter. Grand Arbiter is just too mean, and Ishai is fine, but I would rather see a pimped out Brago. And Brago's a great card. It's a fun card to play. You can play it very different ways, like just ETB triggers or stacksy stuff. It's a good card, and it can be fun. So I'm hoping for Brago. Did I write anything else about Brago? No, I did not. That's what I got for Brago. Dimir, our Dimir commander, is almost definitely going to end up being Yuriko. It was reprinted pretty recently, but it's literally like double the popularity of the next most popular, which is Scarab God, which also was just printed. And then there's Venax, which was in a secret layer, Una, which was in a secret layer, and then Lazav the Multifarious, who I only know one person that plays it. Shout out to you, Ryan. So I think that's going to end up being Yuriko. It does also have a Judge promo, which hurts its chances here, but its Judge promo is just same art and everything, so I think a lot of players will appreciate a new Yuriko. Plus, there's a little leak. So, in not this upcoming year, but the year after, it looks like there's going to be a Kamigawa set. So that means more ninjas. So maybe reprint Yuriko here. So that way when that comes out, the new ninjas will make Yuriko more popular and make people come back to this product. Could be a good idea. Could be a thing that they're actually planning to do. Next up, we're going to talk about Rakdos. So the one I hope... So there's 3 most likely options, I think. There's Anya Falconwrath, which, I mean, it's just a very popular commander. It's the most popular Rakdos commander right now. There's Rakdos Lord of Riots, because what's more Rakdos than Rakdos? And there's the Vial Smasher. I'm hoping it's the Vial Smasher, because Vial Smasher, super fun, super cool card. Partner, there's a lot of partners in the new set, so it'd be on theme. There's already a leak that there is going to be a guaranteed previous partner as one of these cards. When we get to that, I'll give you a little warning if you don't want to hear. And so I'm going to be going with Vial Smasher here. That's my hope, and that would be a good choice. Sorry about that. Next up, we're going to Gruul. So, it was the Gruul commander that I chose, I think was the best option because the top 3 Gruul commanders are Omnath, there's Xenagos, and there's Rukthar. After that, it goes like Nikia, Wart, and Grand Warlord Rada. Nobody really cares about those. I don't think anybody really wants to get a pimped out version of those. It's got to be one of these top 3. Like, there's no other really good ones for pimped out versions. And Omnath was just reprinted inside one of those little commander decks. Xenagos was in the secret layer. It's going to be Rukthar. We're going to get a pimped out Rukthar as our Gruul commander. At least that's my guess. It's between him and Tana. I'm going with Rukthar on this one, though. It's been a while since he's been reprinted. And yeah, he's tied for being like one of the oldest, like, lastly printed cards in the top 9 most popular, and he's in the top 3, so good chance that it's going to be Rukthar. Next up, we got Celesnia. So my Celesnia pick, I think, is probably one of my most likely picks. For Celesnia, I picked Selvala Explorer Return. This card is an older card that has been printed in like 4 years. It has no foil printing. It's a very fun card, and it's out of the top 16 cards, it is the oldest card. Like, it is the card that hasn't had a printing in the longest amount of time out of the last 16 cards, top 16 cards. So, I think it's a shoe-in here. It's a very cool card. It's not super pricey, which is disappointing, but I think it would be a very fun card to throw in here. Next up is Orzhov. Orzhov we actually had the leak for, so if you don't want to hear, you just cover your ears. But the leak was for Tymna, so we know that there's partners in this. And Tymna's a very pricey one, so it's a very good reprint to see. I'm very happy about that. Alright, so those of you that plugged your ears, you can unplug. Next up is It? Also, if you plugged your ears, you probably should have closed your eyes too, because there's definitely just a Tymna right there or something. So, if you don't like leaks, then you shouldn't be watching this video. Is It? So, for Izzet, I picked Mizzix. He is the only one of the top 16 most played Izzet commanders that does not have a foil. And he's the most expensive card in the top 16. So, I think that puts him as a pretty good shoe-in for this spot. He's also just a very, very generically Izzet card, because it's all about spell slinging and stuff like that. And so I just think he's a good fit. I think he would fit in very well into the set of cards. So hopefully it's Mizzix. That's one of the ones I'm pretty certain about. Next up is Golgari. For the Golgari one, this one is my personal choice that I really want and think that there's some cool stuff and reasons to have it be the card. Like, it's probably the most unique reasons. But there may or may... Like, the Gitrog monster might be a better choice, but I'm thinking it's going to be Skullbriar. And the main reason for Skullbriar is because it doesn't have a foil printing, and also it has crazy synergies with the new ability counters. So there's a lot of new counters that you can put, like lifelink, death touch, whatever, on your creature. And if you put on Skullbriar, he keeps the counters with him wherever he goes. So, I think that seems pretty fitting for this set just because we just had all those come out recently. I think it will shine a new light on the card. When people look at it again, they'll be like, oh, wait, I didn't think about this. And bam, it could be good. I think that would be a fun card to throw into this. Next up, we got Boros. So, it's got to be Feather. Like, if it's not Feather, I'm going to be shocked. Feather is there on EDH Rec. We got almost 3,000 Feather decks, and the next highest is Depala with almost 800. So it's like 75% more Feather decks than the next most popular. I have a Feather deck. I would love a pimped out Feather for that deck. But I'm hoping for Feather here. It seems like the most obvious choice. Next, we got Simok. So, since we know that Tymna got into this, I'm really hoping that the Simok one is going to be Thrasios. And I'm really hoping that Rakdos is going to be the Vial Smasher, because I have Thrasios Vial Smasher Commander deck, and I'd love to have both of them be pimped out. But Thrasios, very, very expensive commander. It would be awesome for it to see a reprint. It's a CDH staple along with Tymna, and both those are going to sell like crazy if they actually print them, because CDH players like their pimped out cards. This is going to be the most pimped version. I'd buy it. Next up, we've got the 3 colors. We're on to the 3 colors. We're going Esper first. This one was tough. Esper was a very, very tough one. So I think the 2 best cards for this would be like Aloro or Zur, but both of those already have Judge promos. So I don't think it's going to be either of them. And Zur's Judge promo is better art than his original. Like, it's got really, really cool art. So it's definitely not going to be Zur. Aloro's the same art, but still probably not going to be Aloro. And we got Alayla as the most popular. And so that's very recent, so I don't think it's going to be a Layla. After that, it's very niche cards, like not huge deck number. I mean, they're actually pretty decent deck numbers, but I think it's going to be Aminatu. Aminatu is a very cool one. It's one of the most popular, top 3. And I think it'd be a nice fit. It's more expensive than the next couple being Verena and now Sun Triplets, which is suddenly super cheap because of all of the reprints that have happened to that. So that's definitely not going to be in it because of the reprints. Then there's just really, really not great cards for this. Like, Yannette would be cool, but I highly doubt it's going to be Yannette. I don't think it's going to be Sidri. I'm really hoping that's going to be Dromar, because I got a really dumb Dromar deck, and that'd be sweet to have a pimped out Dromar. But I think it's almost definitely going to be Aminatu. And if it's not Aminatu, it's going to be Aloro. Next up is Grixis, and we have the leak for this one. So the Grixis commander is going to be Nekusar. So that should be pretty sweet. Then there's Jund, which has also been leaked. Or that one was spoiled, actually. This is an official spoiler. The Jund one is Prosh, which looks good. With the border is going to be over here or here. It's going to be somewhere. Now we're on to Naya. So, for the Naya commander, I think that it's going to end up being Zakama, because get that reprint equity. That Zakama is the priciest one here by a significant margin, and he's the best Naya commander that there is. Like, he is just strictly like the best Naya commander. And the only other option I could really see it being is like Marith, because Marith doesn't have a foil printing. But I'm hoping for Zakama. Bant. So for Bant, the top 3 are actually all pretty recent cards. The oldest one being like Tuvasa and like Arcades, then there's Shulane. I don't think it's gonna be any of those. I'm going with Derevi here, because Derevi is pretty old. It's a CDH card, which people love pimp versions of. I've said this already. It's also a very unique commander, because it's got like the cool put into play abilities. So it's a very popular commander with a unique effect that hasn't been printed in a while and sees a lot of play and sees CDH play. It seems like it hits all the marks for a good card to be put into this. So we're going with the Derevi here. Abzan. So for Abzan, we're just going with Gave. Gave's the number 1 most played. It doesn't have a foil printing. It's been a bit, it hasn't been that long since it's been printed, but it doesn't have a foil one. Significantly the most popular. After that, Carador, which has a Judge promo, and then you got like Nethroi, Kethis, and who are pretty recently printed. Then there's Anafenza, who nobody really cares about. So we're going with Gave here. It's probably going to be Gave. Next up, we've got Jeskai, which has been spoiled, actually. The Jeskai deck is Zedru. Or not deck, the Jeskai card is Zedru. So that's going to be cool. I like that. I like that choice. I like that choice a lot. Sultai. This is, I think, the easiest one to call. Like, this is almost a no-brainer. It's Muldrotha. It's gotta be Muldrotha. Muldrotha is like one of the most popular commanders since it's been printed. It's such a fun card, such a good card. Tons of people have Muldrotha decks. Its foils and its non-foil actually have gotten pretty pricey. And there's no pimp version. It's a very, very popular card. Like, if it's not Muldrotha, I will be shocked. If it's not Muldrotha, I will like eat whatever card it is. Let's see. No, I won't do that. I'm not gonna do that. Nope, not gonna do that. I lied there. I'm not gonna eat any cards. All right, let's move on. Mardu. So top Mardu commanders. I think this is gonna be a really obvious one too. It's going to be Edgar Markov. It's got 1 printing. It's super, super popular. He's now like $25 at least. it's got to be Edgar Markov. The next most popular two are Queen Marchesa, who just got pre-printed in like it's either the list or mystery boosters. I think it's mystery boosters. There's Kalia, who's just in double masters, and then there's Sir Gwen, who nobody cares about. It's Edgar Markov. This one is a guarantee. I don't know for certain, but I'm gonna guarantee it's Edgar Markov. Teamer. I can guarantee this one because it was leaked. The Teamer one is going to be Maelstrom Wanderer. And then we're on to the 4-color ones. So, these ones are much easier because there are, except for one exception, the 5 4-color pairings all have one card available. So, the pairing with no green is going to be Briar. No white, you got Yidris. No blue, Saskia. No black. This is a tricky one because now there's new Omnath Locus of Creation, but it's not going to be Omnath Locus of Creation. It's going to be K&T, Canis, and Tiro of Miletus. Them. It's going to be the gay dads. And no red, Atraxa. So it's kind of surprising with Atraxa and Briar here because they're just in double masters, but there's no other card that can actually take that spot, which is weird. So, yeah. It's going to be Atraxa and it's going to be Briar there. 5-color. This one was difficult. So, there's a couple options here depending on the way they do it. So if they want a true 5-color card, not like a true 5-color card, something not like Captain Sisay or Weatherlight Captain. Sisay Weatherlight Captain, because it's a white card that has the 5 colors in its mana ability, so it counts as 5-color in Commander. If they want to make this like an on theme and make it an actual 5-color Commander, the most popular one of those is Dragon, which was in a secret layer recently. Then there's Niv-Mizzet Reborn, who is very man Commander. Then you got some slivers, you got Reaper King. Yeah, Scion of the Dragon, which maybe it could be Scion of the Dragon. I think it's between Scion of the Dragon and Horde of Notions. Definitely, I think it's going to be one of those two, unless they don't really care about it being like a true 5-color commander. If they don't, then it's going to be Najeela. Those are my guesses. I'm going to say it's going to be Scion of the Dragon or it's going to be Najeela, depending on which way they want to take it. And then for colorless, we've got a couple options. It's going to end up having to be one of the Eldrazi's. It's going to be either Kozilek, Ulamog, or Emrakul. And it's going to either be the Oath of the Gatewatch Kozilek, the Zendikar, whatever it's called, Battle for Zendikar, Ulamog, or the Eldritch Moon Emrakul. I think the most likely scenario is going to be actually... This is a tough one. I think Emrakul is the least likely. It's between Kozilek and Ulamog. I think it's going to end up being Kozilek just because it's the most popular as a commander. But I'd love to see it be Ulamog because that one's the money. And that one's much cooler. But it's probably going to end up being Kozilek, and that's going to make me a little sad. But, oh well. And so, yeah. I wanted to next talk about some just other cards that I think are gonna end up being in the set. You got stuff like I think the talismans and the signets, definitely the talismans, maybe the signets are all gonna be in the set. Arcane Signet probably. I mean, I don't know if they actually revealed Soul Ring yet, but Soul Ring if they didn't. Chromatic Lantern seems a good fit because it's gonna be a very colors matters set. Skull Clamp, Commander Staple, Felwar Stone, another good one here. Sensei's Divining Top, it's been forever since it's been printed, and this seems like a really good product to put it in. Thought Vessel, another one that doesn't see a lot of, or sees a lot of play and is too pricey for what it is. Sword of the Animist, because it's one of the better ramp cards outside of green. And Vidalcan Orrery, because Game Nights, because the command zone. That's the main reason why I think Vidalcan Orrery. Now I'm going to talk about some instants. Swords to Plowshare, Counterspell, Beast Within, Generous Gift, Pongify, Frozen Grip, Chaos Warp, Rapid Hybridization. All those are very, very likely. They're all staples, and I'm really hoping for Noxious Revival. That's a very good one that hasn't seen. It's getting way up there in price. It has not seen a printing. I think it'd be a good one. I think that'd be a good addition. Sorceries, obviously, like Kodama's Reach, maybe Cultivate, but that was just printed inside of whatever it's called. Core set. Merciless Eviction seems like a good fit here. Vandal Blast, Windfall, Decimate, Damnation. I think Damnation would be a very, very good reprint here. It's been a long time for that card, and it's a very good commander card, but it's not a staple because of the price. And this is what I'm hoping for. I am really hoping for Imperial Seal to see a printing here. I think it can be done. It's a worse Vampiric Tutor. They did something similar when they put Grim Tutor inside the core set, so I could easily see them putting Imperial Seal in here. And that would sell this like hotcakes. Like a pimped out Imperial Seal, like extended art foil, would be so cool. Next I'm going to talk about some enchantments. Smothering Tithe. It's a staple. It's got to be in here. Mirari's Wake is a good one to add. Mystic Remora. It has never seen a reprint, and it's a commander staple. It would be very, very good in this. It needs new art. It would be a great addition. Ghostly Prison and Propaganda, just because they're commander staples. Aggravated Assault, that has not been printed in a while. That's a pricier card. That would be a good addition here. Anointed Procession. That card has creeped up in price. It's like $25 now. That'd be cool. Animate Dead would be cool at uncommon. Grave Pact, it's been a long time since that's been printed. That'd be a nice addition. Some creatures. The first four I want to talk about are all green, being Eternal Witness, Sakura Tribe Elder, and Reclamation Sage, and Acidic Slime. Maybe not Acidic Slime because it was just in a secret layer actually, but the other three, easy to add in at common, uncommon. Then also like Dockside Extortionist. That card's getting really pricey. That's a commander staple now. Notion Thief, very cool card. It would be cool to throw that in here. Consecrated Sphinx, also a big commander staple. That'd be a nice addition. And Hellkite Tyrant. That card's gotten pretty pricey. That's a cool commander card. And some lands that I think would be a good addition. Cabal Coffers, the best addition. Cabal Coffers needs to be in this. Emeria the Sky Ruin, I think that's what it's called, the old Emeria card. That's a great land. That would be good in this. Nykthos, of course. And Urborg. If you're going to throw Cabal Coffers in, why not throw Urborg too? And so those are what I got for predictions. So now, we're going to move on to the leaks. There's a lot of leaks. So I'm just going to go through and read the ones that were able to be translated. First off, we got Tevish Sizat, Doom of Fools. He's a planeswalker, 4 and a black. Hopefully there's going to be a picture somewhere. Some of these, I have to say, there won't be pictures for because they're super, super blurry and illegible. So you're just going to have to listen to my voice. You can, for this planeswalker, you can +2. It comes in with how many loyalty? 4 loyalty, and it's got partner, and it can be your commander. It's got +2. Create 2/0/1 Black Thrall creature tokens. +1. You may sacrifice another creature or planeswalker. If you do, draw 2 cards. Then draw another card if the sacrificed permanent was a commander. And you can -10, gain control of all commanders, then put all commanders from the command zone onto the battlefield under your control. That's a really cool one. That's a really, really cool ultimate. I like that a lot. But it's a cool card. Then you got Jessica, Thrice Reborn. It's a 2 and a red for a planeswalker with 0 loyalty. What? Wait, it can't be 0 loyalty. What am I... Hold on. This cannot be correct. It's zero. It's 0 loyalty. Okay, it is 0 loyalty. What does it do? Oh. Enters the battlefield with an additional loyalty counter on it for each time you've cast it from the command zone in the game. So the first time you play it, it's going to be on 1, then 2, then 3. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. It's got, you can 0 her, choose a creature until your next turn. If that creature would deal combat damage to an opponent, it deals triple that damage instead. And you can minus X. She deals X damage to each of up to 3 targets. So that seems pretty solid. So you can play it, you can triple damage, and you can -1 to bolt everything, or to ping 3 things. Next time you can shock 3 things and bolt 3 things. Pretty cool. Next up. So these are cards that I will not have actual pictures for. I'm just going to show you the big leak photos, and if I can remember to put arrows pointing at whatever is the thing. We got Liesa of Flight Penumbra. 2 white, black for a legendary creature, Angel Mythic. You can pay commander tax with 2 life instead of 2 mana for each cast. The templating may not be like that though. So it's basically like Phyrexian mana for command attacks, which is nice. When it dies, nope, wrong one. Flying, lifelink. Whenever a player casts a spell, you gain 2 life. And it's a 5/5. So it's a good life gain commander. And it can be cast for 5 mana all the time. Or if you have it in the deck, then it can help you to cast your commander for cheaper later on. Next up, we got Elvis Dredd Prince. 3 black for a creature zombie elf. It's a rare. It's got Death Touch. When it dies, non-elf creatures get -3/-3 until end of turn. And it has Encore. 5 black, exile it from your graveyard. Non-elf creatures get -3/-3 until end of turn. Active this ability only anytime you can cast a sorcery. And it's a 3/3. That's showing us the effect of Encore. Encore's interesting. So just kind of you exile a card from your graveyard, pay some mana, and you get an effect. I guess you get its death effect. Next up is Tormad the Grave Robber. Legendary creature, zombie wizard. It's 4 mana. It's rare. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, create a tap 2/2 black zombie creature token. He has partner, and he's a 4/2. That seems kind of cool. It could be good in some deck. I'm not sure who to partner him with yet. I'm going to be going through all the commanders later on, or most of the good commanders later on when I do my first thoughts on them. Court of Plenty. 2 green enchantment rare. When it enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. If you are the monarch, you may instead put a creature or land from your hand onto the battlefield. So this card's really, really cool. Green monarch that lets you drop creatures into play for free. I like this a lot. Then you got Delise, Dignified Medium. 3 white, legendary creature, human cleric rare. At the beginning of your end step, create X 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying, where X is the number of tokens that you've sacrificed this turn. So that seems pretty solid. You could just if you have you just make a lot of tokens. You play Phyrexian Altar, sack them all, make mana, use the mana, end of turn, you get all those tokens back. That seems like it's going to be a very strong card. Obeka, Heartless Chronologist. 1 in Grixis. It's a legendary creature, Auger Wizard, and it's a rare. Tap. The player whose turn it currently is may end the turn, and it's a 3/4. I'm going to be building this deck, so be ready for your first thoughts on that, because I might actually put that first thoughts out before it's even spoiled, officially spoiled. So, or I might try to wait and get it all set up, so that way as soon as it's officially spoiled, I can pop that video out, because then I'll have a good picture of it. Next up, we got Blade Griffin Prototype. It's 5 mana. It's an artifact creature, Griffin. It's a rare. It's got flying. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player chooses a non-land permanent that one of your opponents controls. Destroy that permanent. So it's a very good politics card. You can just be like, hey, if you let me poke, it's also a 3/2. You just be like, hey, if you let me poke you for 3, we can blow up that. People are going to be taking that option, like doing that. It's a good card. 5 mana might be a little steep for it, but it's still a pretty good card. Next up, we got Geth, Auger of the Crossroads. 4 blue for legendary creature Sphinx. It's an uncommon. It has flying. If you would look at a number of cards by scrying, instead draw that many cards. And has partner 5/6. This is a really, really cool effect. I actually didn't notice this one before. So anything that's a scry, you instead draw cards. I like this a lot. There's got to be some crazy shenanigans you can do with this card. That's fun. That's a very fun card. Next up, we got Eyesore, something that we can't read. It's 1 blue, legendary creature Owl, uncommon. Flying, spells your opponents cast. That target commanders you control cost 3 more to cast. And as partner, and it's probably a 1/3. Costs 3 more to cast. That's nice. Then you got Meteor Mace. 4 red for an artifact equipment as an uncommon. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has trample. And it has equip 1, but it also has cascade. So when you cast a spell, you can flip until you hit a 5 CMC or less card and cast that as well. Pretty cool. +1 to equip is nice. Then you got Ishtahik Scrap Splicer. 4 and a green for a legendary creature Human Artificer. It's 4 mana. When it enters the battlefield, create a 3/3 colorless golem artifact creature token. Whenever an artifact is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on it and each golem you control. Partner. So it can be used as golem tribal, but it's also got partners, so you can mix it up with something else. So if you go with white, something with white, then you got the Splicer cards, like Master Splicer. That could be kind of cool. Next up is Rayav, Master Blacksmith. It's a red and a white legendary creature, Dwarf Artificer. It's an uncommon. Whenever a creature you control attacks, if it's enchanted or equipped, it gains double strike until end of turn, and it's a 2/2. That seems pretty good. That's going to go in any equipment deck, as long as it's Boros. Boros plus. Next up is Treasure Seeker. It's 2 and a blue, creature, human pirate. It's a common. When it dies, you draw a card. And it has Encore, 2 and 2 blue, exile from your graveyard, draw a card. So yeah, Encore just is a mana cost, you exile from your graveyard, you get its death trigger again. That's a cool build. That's a cool mechanic. Then there's Elvish Black Seer. It's a 1 and a black for an elf shaman. It's a common. When it dies, each opponent discards a card. It's a 1/1. Then there's Maelstrom Colossus, which is an 8 mana 7/7 with Cascade. And it's a golem. Then there's a few cards that we only have partial of. There's a Kedis, which is a red legendary 1/1 lizard for 1 red with partner at uncommon. There's Slurk, the all-consuming, a green legendary ooze for 6 mana, 5 and a green, with partner that enters with a number of +1/+1 counters at uncommon. Don't know what the number is. There's Aram, Flood of the Dead, a Demir legendary 1/4 merfolk wizard with a tap ability at rare. Don't know what the ability is. And a Sultai legendary turtle. With as long as blank is tapped, other permanents enter the battlefield tapped. As long as blank is untapped, other permanents enter the battlefield untapped. That's really cool. I like that one. That can lead to some shenanigans. So you just have to find a way to tap it during your opponent's, like at the end of your turn, and so during your turn have it untapped and everything you play enters untapped. That's like Amulet of Vigor. That's nice. Then you got some reprints. So The reprints that have been spoiled include Boros Charm, which has a full art, Cage of Hands, Bertolid, Fleshbag Marauder, which also has a full art, Goblin Trailblazer, Lightning Rig Crew, which means pirates is going to be an actual theme in this, so there's probably going to be some new pirate commanders, along with like maybe a Pitiless Plunderer reprint, which would be cool. We got Maelstrom Wanderer, which we already talked about. I'm going to skip over the ones we talked about already. There's Makeshift Munitions, another pirate card, Palace Sentinels, Reliquary Tower, Return to Dust, both of those I think have full arts, Sailor of Means, Soul's Fire, Soul's Might, Spark Tongue Dragon, Spectral Searchlight, Staff of Domination, which has a full art, obviously, Supreme Will. We got 3 Visits, which is upshifted to an uncommon, but this is like, how much money is 3 Visits at this point? 3 Visits is insanely expensive because it's a portal card, and it's Portal 3 Kingdoms. It's literally, it's a $100 card, 130. The cheapest one available right now is actually $90, but its market price is $113. And it's just the Nature's Lore. It's, you search your library for a forest, put into play tapped, and shuffle your library. Or you don't put it into play tapped, it's just you put it into play. So it's very, very good. But it's $100 right now because it's never been reprinted. So now it's got a reprint at uncommon. This is going to be huge. It's crazy. I'm very excited about that. There's Universal Solvent. There's Vow of Wilderness, and I'm pretty sure all the vows have been either, like there's a cycle of vows that have been confirmed, or I saw them confirmed in like Wikipedia or something, or Gamepedia, whatever it's called. Don't know if that's actually accurate. I haven't seen any of the other ones. And that's everything. So that's everything that we have leaked so far. There's already been spoilers like earlier, so like Baron Sangir, stuff like that. But that's everything. That's all I've got to talk about for today. This is a pretty long video, I think. I have no idea because I cannot see the time on the camera. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys stuck through it to the end. I'm going to be going nuts when Commander Legends spoiler season starts, so be ready for that. If you want to make sure you don't miss anything, because we're going to be talking about a lot of commanders. There's hundreds coming out. Oh, there's over 100 commanders coming out. So I'm going to be doing a lot of videos. So if you want to be on top of that, hit that notification, the little bell icon, so that way you get a notification whenever I post. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like this video if you enjoyed it and if you're excited for Commander Legends. Comment down below if you have any ideas about what you think any of the 32 cards are going to be. Like if you think that the green commander is actually going to be Kogla, not Yisan. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. And check us out on Patreon if you really want to support the channel. You can, if you're going to buy any cards, TCG player link down below. If you're going to buy Commander Legends, you can pre-order it down at TCG player. Just go through the link down below and it kicks back to the channel, which helps out a lot. So we will see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody.